Other topics to be mentioned are the measurement and simulation of the coastal current in the Faroe Islands. A large number of small projects have supplied data to PhD projects at the faculty and the FFL. There's also close cooperation on several projects related to the cod stock on Faroe Bank. In 2009, the faculty and the FFL will take part in a joint Nordic Masters program in marine ecosystems and climate, which will be presented later today. This project, along with the revised educational program at the faculty, will have immense importance for the recruitment possibilities for the Faroese R&D environment. The Faroese Museum of Natural History carries out a number of research projects within the area of climate effects and the marine environment. There have been a number of joint projects on whales, especially pilot whales and seals. The Faroese climate and vegetation is very sensitive to changes in the ocean currents, and therefore there's also focus on climate effect on mountain vegetation. For example, the PhD project, Mountain Vegetation in the Faroe Islands in a Climate Change Perspective. This work continues now in the project ITEX, started in the Faroes in 2001, and Gloria, which is expected to be launched this year. The Faroese Museum of Natural History has recently become part of the newly established Environmental Agency, a new institute which is created from several different institutes. Besides what I've already mentioned, their research is mainly focused on pollution of all sorts. The Department of Occupational and Public Health is part of the Faroese hospital system and carries out a range of tasks. One main research area is how pollution of the oceans, mainly mercury and PCB, affects children's health, especially the central nervous system and the immune response. The results from this research have received a lot of international attention and have been used to set new national standards for pollution in the United States. The aquaculture research station of the Faroes, Fiskalink, mainly focuses on fish farming. Projects related to climate change involve, among other things, ocean temperature fluctuations, which greatly affect fish farming possibilities. Kaldbak Marine Biological Laboratory, which was formerly an international project by the name BioFire, works with environmental investigations of organic pollution, and they have plans to start research in ocean temperature changes by investigating scallops. R&D workers from these institutes all work closely with international networks on joint projects, some more than others, of course. There is widespread cooperation with industry, for example, the fishing industry and the fish farming industry. There are also many assignments for the Faroese authorities on climate, marine and health issues as ad hoc advisor in legislative work and other areas. There are a growing number of projects and initiatives focusing on environmentally friendly products, for example, for oil conservation purposes. These projects are mostly joint projects between the industry and public institutes, or at least with joint funding. Several of these projects have been presented at this conference, so here's just a brief overview. I'm not going into these. I think that there is a future potential in the Faroe Islands. You could say that the limited size of the Faroe society in many ways is an obstacle to R&D. In general, the available resources, both with regards to people and funding, are far too limited for us to be able at the R&D front in general. But we are dependent on individuals rather than on research teams. It is therefore, as Boy also mentioned, a big challenge to attract and hold on to excellent researchers. But there is a great potential and some advantages in our society for excellent, effective and important R&D in climate and marine areas. This field is of immense importance in general, of course, but in the Faroes it's so pressing that it's basically a question of survival for our industry and our society. We already have excellent researchers and research, need to find the last page, research results. We have established R&D environments and a unique geographical position from which to work. The Research Council recently launched a database on our website of R&D workers in the Faroe Islands and Faroese R&D workers abroad. Besides the people working in the Faroese institutes and companies, we have a range of people working outside the Faroe Islands who are able and probably also interested in working in this field, given the opportunity And here are some statistics. There is a very short distance between the political system, the R&D environment, and the private sector in the Faroe Islands, which gives us insight in the area. There is high level of transparency, and therefore a limited risk of too much overlapping. The Faroese population is also highly educated and well-skilled in most working areas, and it adapts swiftly and willingly to catch new opportunities in interesting areas. We are used to cooperating across institutes and companies in the Faroes and abroad, and we already have a large network of colleagues within these work fields. I guess that when the new Science Council decides on its focus areas, that it will focus primarily on climate and marine. Hopefully the increased national funds and an agreement to formally join the EU research programs will ensure a solid solid foundation for groundbreaking research and development in climate and marine areas in the Faroe Islands. And the last slide. Climate change brings new challenges and opportunities. Some days ago there was this cartoon in one of the Faroese newspapers commenting on the reports of new marine species spotted around the Faroe Islands, but also on the outdated Faroese Immigration Act and policies. We have already seen new whales and fish and welcomed a number of foreign researchers in the past few years. In my view, the Faroese R&D environment would be more than happy to welcome and work with new species in the Faroe Islands, be they fish or people of any size, color or taste. Thank you.
Thank you very much.